What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Trishramon, aka TS, back with another video. Now, as y'all can tell by the title and by the thumbnail, today we're going to talk about how to get out of Rookieville, and we're going to talk about all the issues that happened early on with NBA 2K21 on next gen. So do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let's get right into the video.
Boy, that shit up, trippy.
Run up a shot to my money long. You run up on me, then I dummy gone. It's all in my chest, I don't got it wrong. You grits in the label with runny nose. We worry about money, we hate them hoes. You don't need designer to pull them hoes. I still bag a thousand for bummy clothes. Bummy clothes. I still bag a thousand for bummy clothes.
Now, as y'all can see, right now we are in what we call Rookieville, all right? If you don't know, real quick, Rookieville is a spot in the city that you start off. As soon as you start your My Career, you're going to be asked if you want to go through the G League, if you want to go through college, and then, of course, go to the NBA. Y'all know the typical My Career storyline type stuff. But for all my park players, if you want to skip all that storyline stuff or go through it a little bit and eventually end up in the cities where you can pick your affiliation, you got to start off in Rookieville first. Then after you go through Rookie 1, 2, and 3, you become a pro, and when you are Pro 1, they shoot you out of Rookieville, and you can actually go play in whatever affiliation you want to play in. So, two things. If you want to get out of Rookieville as quickly as possible, I personally would recommend one of these two things. Now, this is not something that's just going to be a blanket for every single person or play style. These are just two things that I found that would work really well in my own experience. So the first, if you can, this is if you have VC to do it. If you can, go ahead, make a big that has high acceleration, high perimeter defense, and can shoot the ball. Now that might sound like a lot, but this year with the new My Player Builder, damn near every build can do almost everything. So if you go with the meta, the 6'8", 6'9"-ish type center, trust me, you'll be able to be quick. You can shoot the ball. You can dunk. You can do everything that you need to do. All right. So now why? The reason why I would recommend that is because a lot of the times I was going up on the 1v1 court against other guards. That's not to say that you won't go up against bigs at all. But just in my experience, I did go up against bigs. I went up against a big, maybe. I played about what, No. I played 16 games in Rookieville, and I went up against a big maybe 5 times out of all those times. So, if I would have had a big going up against guards, that's easy punishment in the paint. And then the reason why I specifically say acceleration, perimeter defense, and can shoot is because when you inevitably give up the ball and you go up against a guard, you want to have that high perimeter defense and that high acceleration to be able to keep up with them. But also because you're in Rookieville, almost every single player I went up against let me shoot the ball. So if you build a center and you're paired up with a guard, you're going to body them in the paint. If you're not paired up with a guard and you go center on center, 9 times out of 10, they're going to let you shoot the ball. And then guess what? Bow, big greens, you light them up. All right. So that is my first suggestion for trying to get out of Rookieville as quickly as possible. Now, my second suggestion, this is if you don't have the extra money and you're already thinking about making a guard and not a big. Go ahead, that's fine. You can get out of Rookieville quickly with a guard. I've seen and heard of a lot of people do it. It's no problem. But if you want to do it as easy as possible, what I would recommend is getting at least a few bronze shooting badges. So maybe anywhere from 1 to 3 bronze shooting badges at the minimum. Because when I went in with no badges. And I ended up actually earning badges as I was going through Rookieville. But in that process, I took losses. Now, here's the thing, though. As soon as I got any shooting badges on bronze, it was like night and day as far as being able to hit in green versus without them. So even though they were on bronze, when people were just leaving me wide open on purpose and letting me shoot, I was hitting that mid-range cash, no problem. And then after hitting about 3 to 4 mid-range shots, then I would have takeover, and then at that point, it's a GG. So I would recommend, you don't have to stay in my career long, because everybody I know thinks it's boring, whatever. Just go and get 2 or 3 bronze shooting badges. You'll be good to go. The first 3 that I would recommend would be Hot Zone Hunter. No, not Hot Zone Hunter. It'll be Hot Shot this year. Hot Shot is the first one that I would recommend, because that helps to get your takeover faster. Deep range threes is always a good one. And then for when they start closing out, deep range Deadeye. Now, for the past few years that Hot Zone Hunter has been available, I go to that first. But obviously, it's Rookieville. You guys don't have Hot Zones yet. So, that's a waste of a badge. And then my other old faithfuls, catch and shoot, corner specialist, all those things that I typically get in my career, no use for those in Rookieville, because nobody's passing the ball, and you don't want to be limited to shooting in the corner. So go ahead, put on that hot shot badge, put on the deep threes, and the third one, you can choose, because then you can go green machine. It's a few other ones that'll be good for like shooting off the dribble, rhythm shooter, stuff like that. But the first 2 for sure, you want to go deep threes and hot shots, so that way you can get that takeover. All right, so that's what I have for y'all for my suggestions in getting out of Rookieville as quickly as possible. But before I let y'all go, remember, I want to talk about 4 major issues that 2K fixed from the beginning of the game's launch until now. The first being how choppy the parks were. Oh my god, it was damn near unplayable how choppy the parks were when the game first dropped. And then 2, you would play through it, and then at the end of it all my park players can relate to this. We wasn't getting no rep. Everybody in the rec center was getting the normal amount of rep that they were supposed to get, but everybody who played in the park through the chop, regardless, grinding it out, we weren't getting the rep that we deserved. All right, so 2K came through big for that. A lot of people were appreciative on Twitter. Other people said, hey, it was supposed to be like this from the very jump, so we're not going to really give them too much praise for something that was supposed to be the case in the beginning. I'm leaning more towards the second. I'm glad that they fixed the problem with the rep, but at the same time, that's what it was supposed to be from jump. So if you don't know, everybody who was like a pro 1, 2, 3, I was a pro 3, and I kept playing in the park regardless of the rep. But we got a rep boost. I heard that it was like a multiplier. So for me, in my case, I went from Pro 3 to All-Star 1. I didn't have to go through P4, P5, and that was because that's how bad the rep was after every game. So again, thankful to 2K for doing that, but at the same time, that's things that should be fixed from jump. And then the other 2 things that they fixed, one, the Mama Mentality, or Mama Mentality badge, as some people call it, that was broken for the first week and a half of the game. So I was one of those grinders who got all my badges done. I went with SwantE's Demigod, the 6'7" Demigod. Shout out to SwantE for that. Go check out his video. But it's a 6'7" Demi. There's multiple versions. I went with the scoring machine version, and I got all 77 badges for that build. And then at the end, I was excited to switch my takeovers, and I couldn't even switch my takeovers because Mama Mentality was broken. So again, 2K fixed that. Huge W. And then the last thing, everybody's entire friends list on the PSN was popping up under friends playing 2K21. Y'all know how when you open your phone and you just want to invite the people who are only playing 2K21? Well, it was people that had their entire friends list popping up. And so you can go through A through about, I don't know, M, N through the alphabet, but everybody after that wasn't even showing up because the phone wanted to show everybody playing 2K21 instead of just the people that was playing it. So a lot of times we couldn't even invite the people at the bottom part of the alphabet. So that got fixed, and now the game is playable. So with no chop, appropriate rep, Mama Mentality, and being able to invite our friends to play, the game is not bad. Now they still got some things to fix. Like even now today, it was still some delays in the park. Even though it was much better, it was still some delays. And even with the invitation system, sometimes it takes 3, 4, 5, even 6 tries to invite our friends to play, unless you just go to the rec center, and that's a way to reliably send the invitation out. But once those two things get fixed, and a couple other gameplay issues that they claim they fixed, as far as like contact dunks being OP and all that kind of stuff, once those things get fixed, then the game will be a huge W. But that's it for this video now, man. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll catch y'all at the next video. I'm out.